Hey everyone, it's Aneta Itchak here. Today I wanted to explore something that comes up for me again and again and again, and that is why is it so hard for us, especially women, to live in the slower and more embodied way? And actually, thinking about this, it's the embodied way is easier or seems to be easier than the slower pace of life. And that's the thing. I remember when the pandemic hit, I remember everybody was talking about the slower pace of living. And, there were so many articles and videos about how good it is that it really made us all to pause and reflect on what's important and what's how busy we've been, how all of us have been caught up in this glorification of productivity and busyness, and then how many of us felt that we couldn't slow down. And yet when the pandemic hit, we were forced to slow down, and we did slow down, and it led to really assessing of what our priorities are. And yet now, a couple of years after the pandemic, we are as busy as we were before the pandemic, if not more busy. And I've been sitting with that question, as a woman as a woman, as a business owner, as a woman in my early autumn season, in my early 50s, and where I am very aware of the changes within my body, when I am really aware that it's no longer just a lovely sounding idea. Things need to change. And as a woman also who is very grateful, I am very grateful that I created this life where I have got my business, where I work from home, where I am responsible for my own schedule, where I say yes or no to projects, where I create my projects, where I can decide what size of team I have and what I'm doing and how I'm doing things. I am so grateful for it. And I worked really hard to create that. And I am really aware that I am in a very privileged position. And at the same time, I am very aware of how difficult it is to live a slower life, more embodied life, the life that is more spacious, the life that is simpler, not simpler just because I'm talking about simpler living and I've got lots of people doing the work, in the background, which is what sometimes it's portrayed within our masculine society, or masculine values-based society, of the role of a CEO. Like, I'm going to be a CEO, I'm just going to be creative, and I've got lots of team doing the work for me. If that's the kind of way that you like to work, that's great. That's not the kind of way that I want to work. What I am really aware of is how much I love the sense of spaciousness, to allow my brain to create, to think about different ways, to really connect with what's going on for me. So then when I connect with others and hold space for others, when I work with others, or when I'm in my daily life with my partner or other loved ones, my family, or even my dog Oscar, I come from this sense of feeling grounded and stable and connected as much as I can. I know that as a highly sensitive woman, I can get really easily overwhelmed if I am not careful. Like, if I'm doing too many things, if I am trying to solve too many things, that becomes overwhelming, that becomes too much. And so really, I've been sitting with this question, like, how can I make it work for me without having to withdraw from life, without having to go to some kind of monastery or run away to India and live in ashram or run away to Bali on a retreat. And, that is one of the ways of doing it. But what I am interested in is how can I do it in my daily life here as I'm living here in UK. Right now I'm living in UK. I have done for the last 32 years. But how can I do it in my daily life in a way that I am living without having to withdraw from life? Still doing the work that I'm loving to do, that is my soul's work, that I am, supporting others, that I have got successful business, and at the same time being able to live that slower and more embodied life that is filled with spaciousness and simplicity, and obviously frugality, because that's another pillar of this kind of life. How can I do it? How can I do it as a woman who's over 50, who is self-sufficient, who doesn't want to withdraw from busyness of life, from my life that I love? And this is what I will be, working with and sharing with you over the coming months, over the coming at least year. That's my focus, that's my intention for 2025. And I'd love you to join me on this journey and share your experiences. This is kind of a passion project. How can we do it? How can we do it? Where we say, it leads to this cognitive dissonance when we say this is the most important thing for me, and yet our actions and our observed actions show otherwise. How can we reduce this cognitive dissonance and really live in a more embodied, authentic way, even though we are being so conditioned by powers to be around us from every direction? So this more sustainable, more frugal way of that doesn't need to lead to withdrawing from what we are doing and how we're living our lives, but being more mindful, more conscious, more intentional about the way that we live and the way that we work. That allows us to do deeper work, connect more with ourselves, connect more with others. That's really what I'm interested in. And it might look differently for each one of us. And I'm really interested in exploring that for myself and with you, if you want to take part in this journey with me. Let me know in the comments what stands out for you, what resonates, what lands. I'm always really interested in that, because one thing that I learned over the years is that there isn't just one way of doing things. Each one of us has got slightly different values. Each one of us has got different things that we hold dear to our hearts, slightly different priorities, different commitments, changing commitments. Our commitments change over our lives. And what is the challenge and what is the easy thing? So often when I see somebody doing something and they share their lived experience, it inspires me to then try it out for myself. Like, does it work? Does it fit in? Could I do it? Does it resonate? Or maybe it doesn't. Is it a full body yes? Is it a maybe? Or is it a full body no? Like, this is not going to work for me. I don't want to do it. And it's very clear. Quite often it's very clear for me. So this is a really good practice that we can start doing. Does it land? Does it resonate? Can I make it my own? Maybe it's kind of feels like it's a maybe. Like I like the idea. I'm not sure how I could embody it um, within my life or within my work, and then trying out and changing it. It's a little bit like movement. When you do a movement on a mat, whether it's yoga or whether it's somatic movement, it's a bit like that. It's like I can try it out, but maybe I need to tweak it a little bit. Maybe I need to do it slower. Maybe I can do a slightly different version of it. Maybe I need to leave it completely because my body hurts. I'm in pain when I'm doing it. It's really uncomfortable, or it's making me dizzy, or it's making me feel not happy. So really trying it out, making it your own, and going from there. So my invitation to you is take what resonates. Let's have a bit of fun with trying things out. And if you are saying to yourself, or if you said to yourself during the pandemic at any point that, oh, I want to continue living this simpler, more spacious life, and yet you got caught up in the daily busyness, then be kind to yourself, because that's part of our human experience. And I know that many of us got caught up back in the busyness, in the productivity myth, in a bigger, louder, better myth of growth that is based on those masculine values within our society. And let's make it more about the feminine embodiment and cyclical living, and being in tune with nature, being in tune what's true for us, that inside out way of living, the self leadership, this being inner guided through our inner wisdom. Let's keep doing that, and let's see where it takes us. So that's my invitation to you today. Let's see where it takes us. I wish you a really good day. Take care for now and look after yourself.